Therefore, that's why he's giving them different names, because he's saying, well, I realise it's just a story.
Right.
So that's what I mean. He's not trying to offend any religious people. Religious people got offended without even seeing the movie, but...
Not as much as Life of Brian.
No.
Well, that one put a cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah, but that was a little bit different, where they were sort of following the storyline a bit more directly, where Kevin Smith's
and more
not.
satirically.
Well, that's what I mean. Kevin Smith's not doing that. It's just a
he's
story.
not. Yes, and that's why I brought Life of Brian into it, because there's two films, whereas you're right in that Dogma was pretty well left alone by most of the religious groups.
There was a few groups that got in there, but they hadn't even seen it. And then when they did see it, they went, oh, actually, you know what? We're probably making
They
a
wouldn't
fuss over
understand
nothing.
comedy anyway.
Probably not. I think it's just...
Now, to that end,
Yes.
did you find it funny?
I did.
You
I
did?
I found it very funny. There are aspects of it that I really liked.
Now, this used to be one of my very all-time favourite films.
Really? I wouldn't have picked it as one of your favourites.
Ex-Catholic?
No, that's what I mean. That's why I wouldn't have picked it as one of your favourites, because it might have hit too close to home.
No.
Okay, well, there you go.
No, I'm not scarred emotionally about religion. Far from it, in fact.
Okay.
I scar other people's religions.
So this is like one of your favourites?
Yeah.
Or
Look,
it used to be?
well, I struggle with the comedy now because, as you know, my philosophy on comedy is it has to be an amazing comedy to hold up because...
Do you mean on the rewatching it hasn't been as funny
Yeah,
as the new
look,
time?
I was a tad disappointed, but I think that possibly is more about me than what it is about the film, because it's at a certain level. It's the jokes are at a certain level, and it was. Don't get me wrong, I still had a couple of good laughs, but of course, you know, there's no punchlines for me anymore because I know the jokes inside out, upside down, and back to front.
If you know the movie quite well, it's probably not as funny as when you first watch it.
Well, I hadn't seen it for about 10 years, but I'd loved it that much that I used to watch it regularly. It was one of my go-to films.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so I know the film nearly as well as I know Beast of War. But
okay.
Yeah, so I can virtually go verbatim from one end of it to the other, which I won't.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was really worried you were about to go.
No,
Who was going to pick? Where's he
quite,
going from?
Quite a few of the biggest speeches that I've got memorised, but I won't do that anymore. That's fine.
I was going to say most of those would be Ben
I've
Affleck's,
grown
wouldn't they?
as a person.
Would they be mostly Ben Affleck's ones? Who plays Bartleby?
No, I have to say I just love George Carlin.
Oh, right.
Yeah. He really makes you like pop,
Well, he plays a relatively small part in this.
He does. And he turns up in Jay and Silent Bob as well, which is the next one after that sort of thing.
You mean the Clerks movie?
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
No. The Clerks was
movie?
the first one.
Yeah.
Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, which came after Dogma.
I haven't seen it. So I probably should watch it.
It's not bad. It's not as good as this, but it's quite good. And of course, Jay and Silent Bob are...
But they're in Clerks too, aren't they?
They are. And
in that same format?
Painful to watch there as well, yeah.
Bad?
Do you like Jay?
I think the dialogue's interesting.
He's a man in need of a punch in the head.
No, but as in... It's interesting dialogue. It's just this guy fixated on having sex and getting high.
It just drove me. It was just, and that's part of
He's
why.
supposed to be annoying. That's the whole idea of his
it's not
character.
supposed to be. Well, in today's day and age, it comes across as mild sexual harassment.
Oh yeah.
No, I'll rephrase that as medium sexual harassment because it's just So I don't know. If somebody's not heard the film or seen the film,
probably wouldn't.
You know what I mean?
Depending on how they feel.
Watch this film with different eyes, and that's
with all everything that's going on at the moment. Yeah.
But all comedy ages, and it's all contextual. But look, still enjoyable. I did enjoy it.
It's enjoyable as long as it's not a serious film. People who go, well, I'm not going to watch it because I'm religious, or I'm not going to watch it because I'm upset with all the things that are happening to women at the moment. It's just an easy film to watch, and if you're willing to take it as that, just a film, without, is there a moral to this? Is there a true, him trying to...
Apparently God exists, and it's a girl, and it's an Alana Morissette.
That's what I mean. To me, it's not too hardcore. It's not a hardcore film.
It's just saying, well, come on, the God in the... I think all it's trying to do is say, hey, look, the God in the sky is not this, this patriarchal overlord, floating around looking down, but it's more hip, because like Alanis was like, she was at a peak at that stage of the game sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, no.
And
I love the fact that when they say, once a month God goes down to watch, what was it, ski
ball.
Yeah.
What is ski
ball?
What is ski ball? I think it's... you know what I think it is? When you go into the arcades and there's the small hoops and then the slightly larger hoops and you throw the balls...
No way.
I think that's what it is. I think people could let us know.
If anyone knows what skee ball is, I was going to Google it and I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah, so because we are too lazy to do our job, could you please help us, guys? Because we really don't know what it is. And
it can't be that.
I think it might be.
It's got to be something on skis, right? Like rollerblading or
Pip.
skis or something. No, ski ball.
You can't make assumptions like that.
What the word ski? I don't know. Anyway, I was going to look it up, but I didn't. I was very distracted today.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's fine.
My son was talking to me while I was writing stuff, and I went, and I was sort of doing two things at once. I went,
right.
Wow, I didn't actually.
So you wrote all day, did you?
Well, Flynn, how he just kicks at you until you answer him.
Yes.
Mum, yes. Mum. Yeah.
Pokemon. So.
He's obsessed. I'm a bad mother.
Look, I didn't want to say anything.
How did this happen? Anyway.
It's called life.
We're getting distracted. So you used to like Dogma. You like it less now?
Mildly so.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there any aspect...
It's only going to lose half a point because of that. But
what about Dogma do you A, like and B, dislike?
What I like about it is it doesn't take religion too seriously. You can still believe and not be an arsehole. But leaving that to one side, we'll just get rid of that button. Sorry. So getting back to the scores.
No, you haven't finished the question. I said, A, what do you like about it? And B, what didn't you like about it? And you said, A, you liked it because...
Well, it's funny.
You can be religious without being an arsehole.
I do like Kevin Smith.
What didn't you like about it?
What didn't I like about it?
Yeah, because you've told us what you liked, the fact that you can be religious without being an arsehole.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
The ongoing sexual harassment. I really didn't like it. That was one thing. And the second thing is I really did not like her character.
No.
She was an unpleasant person. And apparently, I've heard rumours necessarily that she was quite unpleasant on set, apparently.
Oh, as in she could have had a much more lost... Because she said she's lost her faith, but, we didn't get that vibe all the time sort of thing.
No.
I would have maybe liked a stronger protagonist. I also found... I like Alan Rickman big time. I think he's awesome.
Oh, wasn't he good?
There was this one little part of the film that I just went... And when you were saying about sexual harassment, where he's, holding her stomach, and I'm like... That's just creepy, the way he's doing that.
Yes,
me
and Jolly were just
time.
going, ooh.
Where maybe...
I said, that's aged.
So, yes, you're right. Some of the parts haven't aged that well. And I like the banter between...
the Me Too movement really has changed a lot. And I think that shows how powerful it actually is, because there are certain things that just do not pass muster anymore.
No, it hasn't taken long. It's not an old film, really.
It's not really.
What, 19 years? Oh, well, it's not that old.
Well, you wouldn't certainly think of it as not being a... Oh, what's the word? Well, you'd think of it as being something that's of today's...
Oh, it's relatively new.
Yes.
But, yeah, those little
the
aspects
mindset has
weird.
moved on quite a bit, hasn't it?
There's been a large step, a very big step.
Yes.
But I actually liked the banter between Ben Affleck's character and Matt Damon's
That
character.
is a lot of fun. That
Those
is a lot
ones
of
are
fun.
fun.
And my favourite bit, of course, is when they go into movies and they got the music playing in the background and little blood splatters and everything like that. I just think Ben Affleck, take him or leave him. I'm not a big Ben Affleck fan, but
he did well in this film.
Oh, yeah, he did, and he's probably not as pretentious as what he normally is.
I actually really liked him in this film.
Yeah, well, he was quite good, and he always does a better job when he's with his mate Matt Damon. He's always better with him around. But when he's on his own,
I thought those two together in this film was very good.
Yes, and they were relaxed and they were having fun, and you could see it.
That's what I mean. To me, it was, yeah. I mean, yes, it hasn't aged well because there's a few aspects that make you go, oh, that's a bit
Can I just do something a little left of centre here? I went off with Alan Rick because when you go down YouTube rabbit holes sometimes and you end up going places you didn't think you were going to end up at.
Can I admit something?
What?
I don't do that very often.
Oh,
no, I don't do that if I can help it.
No, well, it's the guiding light in my life.
Oh,
I just
my
end up
sister
in
does that, and I find it weird because I said, "How did you even get to here?" And she goes, "Well," and you have a 10-minute conversation of how she got to there.
No, I'm terrible. I'm quite happy to run off down these weird avenues of thought. Anyway, so I found this thing on YouTube where it's him reciting.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman was reciting Shakespeare's sonnets. And he was a younger man.
He's done all that
yes,
stuff.
I know. And like he's always got a bit of a glorious... I mean, there's only a few people that have really got great voices. I mean, he is one. His voice is just, is to die for. God, I wish I had a voice like his, and I never will.
You should just be happy with what you've got, Paul.
We've got Bonehead himself.
Bonehead.
The guy you don't like.
Which guy's that?
You know.
No, you gotta have.
Who's in King Lear?
I don't like. No. I don't know who you're talking about.
You know the guy?
Don't know who you're talking about. No idea. Don't even know.
Anthony Hopkins. I'll say then.
Don't do that. That's mean.
No, I know. But
anyway.
He's also got a good voice. But I think, look, the voice of the 20th century had to have been our mate from last week.
Which guy? You can't just say mate.
Well, because I can't remember his name straight off. But about 1994.
Yeah, but which way? Richard Burton?
Yes. Oh, well, it wasn't John Hurt, that's for sure. He's got a terrible voice.
He doesn't.
His voice looks like his face.
No, but it's not a low voice. Are you talking about, you're specifically looking
Richard
for...
Burton.
Yes, Richard Burton.
He's got a superb voice.
He did a lot of theatre stuff.
Not only that, he did my favourite album of all time, War of the Worlds.
Ah, yes, he did too.
I loved that as a kid. I used to listen to that in dark room all the time, every night before I went to bed. Loved it.
That's just a little bit sad.
Is it? I could tell you stories.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to be for a different podcast altogether.
Psychology with Pip and Paul.
Anyway, so what star rating would you give this Dogma?
You know what? It's close to being a favourite. So therefore, and you know what? I'm going to say that I was probably a little harsh on Shawshank Redemption.
Is that because you got copped a flogging over the last week?
Yeah. I'm not going to raise the score on Shawshank. Fuck Derek. But I will make an acknowledgement that I was probably harder on it than... But I just don't like prison movies. And I said that, they leave me feeling a bit cold. They really do. I digress. Yeah, look, I'm going to go a 6.5 for Dogma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a fantastic film, but it's a good film. Okay. By today's standards, it's a good film. If people come in cold, see, I've got to remember that when people listen to us and then they'll go and sit, if they haven't seen it, they're not going to be coming in with all the nostalgia that I would have sat down and watched it with. And
there is a couple of little weird spots, but most of it's actually quite funny.
Well, there are some weird spots and there are some funny spots. And there's also a lot of sexual harassment in it. And you know what? It's not really thought of well nowadays.
No.
And so that's what I'm saying. Otherwise...
I just assumed you'd give it a high star rating.
Oh, no, not at all. Because, it is what it is. And that is, it's a 20-year-old film about religion that is being very sympathetic towards religion. It doesn't take religion to task because religion does many bad things in this world of ours today. And I'm not pointing the finger at any particular one religion. Well,
you couldn't.
Don't worry, I could.
No, what I'm saying is...
I'm trying not to for the sake of civility, But I'll simply say that, it's certainly an apologist film for religion, I feel. And so therefore it's not that harsh. Even though by its day standards, it was cutting edge and it made us think about religion a little bit differently in those days. And all well and good. But by today's standard, no.
Okay, so 6.5 from you.